So hello everyone. Since the beginning of 2015 there was really just one option. If you wanted to have a bike you can really go good on the street, fast on the street, but also on the racetrack, and that was this bike. This is the Aprilia Tuono V4. This is my Aprilia Tuono V4. It is a bike I fell in love once I saw it, and once I tried it in 2016 I was convinced that I had to have this bike once I could afford it. So last year, or yeah, around last year, beginning of last year, I finished my studies and I saved up and I bought myself this bike. Beginning of this year there is another player to the game, and this is this guy here. This is the Ducati V4 Streetfighter. These are both Italian V4 1100cc naked bikes, which in my opinion mark such an important and such a pure and fascinating form of motorcycling that I had to do this test or this comparison as a Tuono rider, as having it ridden for 1 year now, seeing what's Ducati's answer to it. In many ways, the Aprilia is, in my opinion, a milestone when it comes to motorcycle development, because it has a V4 engine, it has a 1100cc, it is the first one of the superbikes or superbike-like motorcycles having that, and it just came and conquered, in my opinion. I mean, of course, some people bought the Super Duke, you have from the KTM, but to be honest, it is a bike you can really ride well. Up until you push it to its limits. If you want to really use its engine, then its suspension just won't hold up. So, but that's another topic. It definitely was just a bike which had superb engine, superb sound, but an enormously great chassis. So in many ways this video can be understood in, if you want to have the Italian awesome V4, awesome sound, awesome design, awesome riding motorcycle, what would you get? Should you get a 2016 Aprilia Tuono, which I have, which costs around 12, 13,000, 11,000, depends on the condition, factory earnings, or should you get all the way and get the 23,000 euro, Swiss francs, whatever, Panigale Streetfighter V4, the newest shit there is on the market. Well, I've got now most of my riding done for today. I mean, look at this beauty. Here we have it, the Ducati Streetfighter V4. Awesome bike, definitely the most modern thing there is on the market, I would say. Beautiful, beautiful details. I mean, you can see it does not have a real frame to it. It has somewhat of a structure holding the front fork. It has the rear structure, and the engine is just the central part of it all. It's really an innovative way of Ducati going by bike building. They always been kind of integrating many functions into a few parts. You can also see the swing arm. It's mounted in the engine, not in a frame. Very Ducati typical. You can see that in all Ducati super bikes way back. They've been doing it for a long time. Also from MotoGP, you see it from the front, you see it, or it pops into your eyes, those awesome wings. I would wish they'd be carbon fiber to be honest, but I mean, hey, it's really nice. Some people don't like carbon fiber wings, or some people just don't like wings. I love them a lot. It's just the most modern thing there is. It is current tech. yeah, what else can I say? You see the MotoGP engine, Desmosedici Stradale. Alone, this name alone gives so much emotion, so much racing history to the bike. Yeah, definitely the most modern thing there is on the market, I would say. Full of tons of electronic features. I mean, it's got electronic rear suspension, electronic front suspension, electronic steering damper. You have them also in other bikes. Nevertheless, they work superb here. Yeah, what can I say about the Ducati? Surprisingly easy to use, surprisingly easy to get adapted to start riding it. If you're not an experienced rider, I mean, yes, of course, it's not a beginner bike, don't get me wrong. Nevertheless, it is a bike you can hop on, you feel at home, you feel comfortable. The seating position, it looks so sporty, but once you sit on the bike, it's really not that difficult, not that terrible at all. It's very comfortable. The gearbox, the automated shifting up and down, so smooth. I mean, this bike really is you can use it to commute, you can use it for long distance riding, I would say. The only thing for those people who really are looking for those things, I would say, is the exhaust. Yeah. I mean, it's funny to say, I'm really not somebody who complains about loud exhaust noises. To me, if you have a look here, sorry, to me this here is an indication of quality. This is what I'm looking for. To be honest with you, with my Tuono, it has 107 decibels, so one more, a bit better, I would say. It has the advantage when it comes to that, but what I would like to say with that is, I am somebody who, I don't really use the ref counter on the bike. I'm looking forward, I'm focused on the track or on the road, and I like to have the bike talking to me. And if the exhaust noise is not loud enough, then you just don't hear it. And for me, it's not something that works. So definitely a big positive for me. What I would criticize, and this is from somebody who really loves loud bikes, is that down at the bottom you just hear so much bass, so much deep noise. Not really characteristic, I would say, for those engines, or from what you know of from MotoGP or from racing. It's really, I don't know, it's got its own character, I would say, but it just does not sound down in the lower revs. It just doesn't sound as good as it sounds up there, because once it gets up about 8,000–9,000 RPM, then you have the MotoGP sound, then you have the feeling, then you feel like, oh my god, this is really awesome. Down bottom, I would say this is the point where people who commute or people going big distances, even though you would have all the ergonomics, all the bike would be so much suitable for it, I would say it's a drawback, because I can imagine especially people who are sensitive to bike noise will just be annoyed by having bass all the time. So yeah. Another thing, yeah, with this bike, you have to say it really just comes alive above 8,000–9,000 RPM. But below that, I mean, you can ride it, and many people who buy this bike and are not that much of a sporty rider will ride it and think, oh my god, this is so awesome. But it, in my opinion, just does not justice to the bike, because when this MotoGP tune kicks in, that's when you start to feel like, okay, this is where the whole package comes together, and you just have this awesome feeling, the awesome adrenaline rush coming through you, hearing that noise, feeling like Andrea Dovizioso, Danilo Petrucci going down the Mugello straight. That's the feeling I was searching for, and you definitely get the bike if you go enough high of a speed. What else? In the beginning I was talking about this unorthodox way of bike building, and yeah, I don't know, coming from the Aprilia Tuono, coming from the classic superbike motorcycle geometry, motorcycle chassis, I somehow have the feeling that even though this bike is extremely stable, it gives you much confidence, and you go around the corner, and I would say it's even easier with this bike to keep the turning angle, keep your knee on the floor, have a nice radius. I don't know, I'm missing somewhat of this geometrical stability, I would call it. So what you have here, or what in my subjective impression is, that you have such superb electronics that they keep you so stable, they keep you, you can do whatever basically on this bike, but once, I don't know, when you want to get close to this edge of feeling where the bike is or where it behaves, I always have the feeling that the electronics just interrupt, that this unique way of bike building of Ducati just gives you somewhat of a, yeah, it's very modern, I would say. It's a new way of bikes, maybe like a spaceship, I would say. It's just yeah, how should it's hard to describe. It's just the feeling of much stability, but not necessarily due to chassis, but to harmonic electronics assistance and package, I would say, maybe, if it makes sense. Yeah, basically what I want to say with this is, I haven't turned off all the electronics, but I mean, I've turned off wheelie control, I've gone the lowest setting with traction control, and in my opinion this bike feels idiot proof. Like, you can do whatever you want to do with it. It doesn't behave nervous. The Aprilia is much more, you have to be much more careful. If you go down with the electronic and the helpers, you will get this sensation of having really to control the bike, really be knowing what you do. Yeah, last thing maybe I want to talk about here is ergonomics. I would say for really sporty riding, this bike, the handlebars, as you see here, I feel them to be a little bit too wide. So when you lean down, if you look at my arm, you position your head down here, I have the feeling that you have to let loose of this of the steering lever quite a lot to position your head in this position out beside the mirrors. And maybe in my opinion, I would wish to have it a little bit of a narrower steering handlebars. The Tuono is a bit better in this regard. Yeah, what else can I say? I mean, awesome bike, so much performance, really. And I mean, just the optics, that's definitely something I want to talk about. You have this motorcycle, and once you have it, everybody's looking at you. You are the star. At every gas station, at every stop, I had to go a bit away from the people there, because I would not be able to do this video. Yeah, the general design of it, really awesome. You see magnesium parts here, one-sided swing arm, Öhlins everywhere, nice Brembo brakes, really nice optics, really nice design overall. Surprisingly, aerodynamics, I think this is really something where Ducati is a pioneer and a leader in this area, especially I think because they're so good with aerodynamics, spend so much effort in MotoGP aerodynamics, that I have the feeling at the beginning I was like, you have no windshield here, this is all open. In the Tuono you have somewhat of a windshield here, and I would say around until 220 something it works okay. You have some wind protection. Above that it just collapses and you have no wind protection at all. But with this bike, I first thought, I mean, okay, you put down your head here, I mean, if you look this perspective, you see there's absolutely no wind protection whatsoever. Nevertheless, somehow this aerodynamics seem to work, because you go 150, 160 and you're not feeling too much of a wind pressure or too much of a noise, which I think is really, really great. So yeah, I'm taking the bike back. These are my impressions from now. I go back to my Tuono, put the bikes next to each other, and then we'll see. I'm gonna take my conclusion of it. Yeah, looking forward for that. It was really a great experience, really awesome experience to see what Ducati did with this bike. Maybe also another thought or another word here. I think what Ducati did here, they had the 11 98 Ducati Streetfighter, which was based on 2 generations on the superbike, 2 generations before the Panigale V4, and it was very sporty. You had very low steering position, your hands were very low, it was very sporty, and I think in this time a lot of people criticized Ducati for that, and what they did here is definitely make it more on the comfortable side rather on the very sporty side. You can feel it. I have the impression that Ducati took the reference from the 2 leaders in the sector, the Tuono and the Super Duke, and yeah, I personally would say it's, to me, a little bit of a shame they took much more ergonomics from the Super Duke, so you have much more this. Yeah, it is somewhat of a hybrid between Tuono and Super Duke when it comes to seating position, but yeah, this is just a touch more on the comfortable side. Like I said, very good for low speed riding, really very good for commuting. For sporty riding, I don't know, I'm just missing some. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when you make a bike comfortable, that's maybe how I can describe it. If you make a bike comfortable for going straight or low speed, it's not going to necessarily be comfortable for going fast. So when the Tuono, you have a steeper knee angle, for example, but with the Streetfighter, once you hang off the bike, and I don't know if you can see this from here, I really just have my hand to show, but going down here and putting my knee outwards, I have to bend my knee quite a lot and maybe go down like this, down a bit more, and coming back from the corner, I feel it in my legs that you have to push up more, you have to work more. So going around the track, turn after turn, I would say you'd have better endurance with the Tuono. I'm definitely sure of that. For the quick round, I mean, I would say, yeah, I can feel also that it's physically more demanding if you really go fast. Like I would say, if you go, the Tuono is always physically demanding, but if you go fast, the whole package comes together and it's all right. With the Ducati, when you're not going fast, it's not physically demanding at all, but once you go fast, it gets demanding and you can feel it. You really have to work for it to go fast, and if you want to position use your body, it's more of work. I would say that's definitely something. Regarding the power, I mean, it's awesome, much power overall, great sound. Can you feel the extra 30 horsepower claims to the Tuono? In my opinion, not. I did not feel it. Both of them have enormous power. I really tried pushing it all the way, first and second gear, maybe third, but I don't know, it feels similar. It just explodes at some point and then it just goes. So yeah, taking the bike back, unfortunately, putting it next to the Tuono, have a quick comparison there, and then that's the video. I hope you guys like it, so see you soon. This is the scenery, Switzerland, Zent is up there. Yeah, there are worse things to do than this. See you guys. So where was I? Like I said, the difference between the two bikes, or what I would say, when it comes to this factor of that it's easy to ride fast with both of them, they do have a different approach to that. The Tuono with its classic geometry and classic approach, and also maybe old approach, I would say it just has enormous mechanical grip, if that makes sense. The chassis is just superb. You feel like the whole bike is built around the chassis. It's the cornerstone of it all. the engine of the Aprilia, I always say, uses around, I would say, 90% of the performance or performance capabilities of the chassis. You always feel like the chassis is really that what makes it back stable, which gives it this awesome performance. On the other hand, it's a very interesting aspect to see that the Ducati somehow does not let you feel that much of the chassis, if that makes sense. It really, in my opinion, achieves this going fast, going easy capabilities through electronics. It's really it's electronic package overall, with quick shifter, with wheelie control, slide control, traction control, everything. It works so perfectly together that you're basically kept in a bubble or kept in a safety net all around you that does not allow you to do anything stupid. And it all reduces the experience to you not having to think about anything else than seeing where the apex are and steering the bike just there, and there it goes, and with fast. And like I said, awesome stability on the front, on the back. What I would say, what I definitely experienced, that it was a bit easier with the Ducati to keep the radius of the curve. So once you have your knee planted on the floor, once you're knee sliding, I had the feeling that the Aprilia, the Ducati, sorry, would just let you keep the radius much more consistent. I would feel that my knee slider would just be on the floor and it would not move. Whereas on the Aprilia, you have, especially, I would say quite often on the beginning of the entry of the curves, you have the experience that you put your knee down, but it doesn't stay down. So you have like a, if that makes sense, experience of the knee slider, whereas with the Ducati, once you put it down, it slides all the way across the curve, the turn, and it works really awesome. So another aspect of the motorcycle is definitely its design. I mean, look at those gorgeous beauties. Both of them look really awesome, but I mean, you can see this is 2010-ish design, this is 2020. I get compliments for my bike, definitely, but having the experience with having the brand new shit under your ass, I mean, everybody just, at every stop you make, you stop, people come and ask questions and you talk with them. So if you like the attention, if you like to show off, the Ducati is the better choice, you have to say. The Aprilia has just become too common, and even though it's a very beautiful bike, you can see slowly its design is getting aged. And it's not aging in a bad way, I would say, not in any sense. But I mean, when this looks like a race motorcycle, this just looks like a spaceship. Really awesome design. Nothing bad to say there from my side. So coming to a quick conclusion of it all, what should you buy? A 4-year-old Aprilia Tuono, or even a new Tuono? Because I've ridden those also and I know them. And what I can basically say is all the experience I have with my Aprilia applies to them. Plus, I would say 5 to 10% better suspension, because it's electronic. It does work better. It does give it a bit of the sensation which the Ducati now has of this electronically round sole package. Nevertheless, I think the comparison is rather good, even especially as nobody has done it before, to see which of them is better, and I think the comparison is still very valid. So I would say, well, if you are young as me, 26-year-old, and this is going to be your first big, strong motorcycle, modern motorcycle, I would say I can speak from my perspective of what I would feel, is that if you buy the Tuono, maybe also this one, a 4-year-old 2016 Tuono, for half the price of the Ducati, I think you get, how should I say, you get this feeling of learning how a bike behaves, but what it means to being in control. It gives you the sensation of yeah, that the last straw of it all depends on you. If you do something bad, then you're gonna crash. And I have to tell you, the Aprilia's electronics, they work very great. If you put them too hard, traction control, it's not good at all. I mean, it just interferes. It's like wet condition. You don't need that. If you put them in the middle, they basically, you never feel them. And if you put them really low and they don't interfere when you maybe would need it, you basically shit your pants. And whereas with the Ducati, it's really idiot proof, I would say. Not in a bad sense at all, because it just does not put you into risk, or it does not put you into danger. So and again, in there, I mean, little details. With the Ducati, you have this lever here to select the traction control, whereas with the Aprilia, what I think is a better system, what I like better, is this lever here. You have plus and minus there right at your thumb, and your index finger, sorry, right at your thumb and index finger. Yeah, that's the smallest detail I would say regarding electronics, which maybe the Aprilia does better, and you can adjust it on the racetrack very easily. But coming back to the point, for a young rider, for somebody who is going to experience other bikes, who, like me, has his first real modern hyper-naked bike, you would say, I'm quite happy I have this bike, and I will happily continue riding it. The fact is that even though I'm 26 years old and I would consider myself a very young rider for this bike, I can already see that the new generation of riders who are now 18 or 20, whatever, and in 4 years time, when this is going to be a bit cheaper and they're going to buy that and this is going to be their reference, I can understand what older motorcyclists say, that you really learn the basics on motorbikes which leave you in control, if that makes sense. So I would say for someone who's really hot-headed, who is sporty, who likes the sensation, who likes the drama, and who wants to grow, who does not want to have all the resources available there are, but still have an awesome experience, then the Tuono is for you. For all the other people, for guys who, also not in a bad way, but who are a bit older, who I would say maybe it's going to be their last hyper naked, hyper sport bike, whatever, before retiring to a sports enduro or touring enduro bike. I would say this is such a great choice. If you have the funds for it, if you have, yeah, like I said, if you're not keen on growing 10 and 20 years on as a motorcyclist, but want to have top-notch MotoGP electronics, MotoGP tech, then go for the then go for the Streetfighter if you can afford it. I would really say, and I talked to the owner of Baumgartner Ducati here in Oberriet, who I'm really thankful for having this opportunity to test the bike, and he really said it great that this bike fits 95% of the people so much more than this one. Regarding this, I would consider myself being the 5% of those people who are looking for the sensation of, yeah, having the sensation sometimes you're shitting your pants, basically. So yeah, so many things I could go on and talk about. Wind protection. Here you have classic wind protection from a semi-fairing, and it works until 200 maybe, somewhat. After that it doesn't. But what you have here, I mean, this is just space tech. This is spaceship technology. You have winglets here that give you downforce, but also direct away the wind. What really works great, what I didn't realize, is you have those small channels here. So air is coming in here and traveling outside here, so giving you somewhat of a wind cover going this way, and you can really feel it. It does work, and especially in speeds 100 to 200 kilometers per hour, it's amazingly good how it just keeps you away the wind and the noise. So yeah, my conclusion is, if you have the funds, if you really want to just have an easygoing bike, if you want to have the macho factor, if you want to show off but not having to crap your pants all the time, not having the back cramps, then go for the Ducati. If you're young, if you're tight on the budget, and you want to still have a sensation or have the last opportunity maybe to experience what a classic superbike was like in 2010, and you want to have this more maybe drama all the time, not just when going fast, then you choose the Aprilia. So yeah, guys, it's really a hard comparison, and this was my opinion on the topic. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like this video. This is my first video. Yeah, what else can I say? If you want more info, just text me, write in the comments below. Yeah, if you have more questions, if you want to do more videos, then feel free to contact me. This is my first video. I hope you like it. Cheers out. This is V4 Maniac.